And today we're going to be talking about my top 10 NBA players of all time.
Tim rebounded it and bringing it. The crossover. Get out of here! Tim Duncan strolling down the lane.
At number 10, I have Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was a power forward for the San Antonio Spurs for 19 seasons. With the Spurs, Duncan made the playoffs in all but one of his NBA seasons, and ultimately won 5 championships and 3 Finals MVPs to show for it. He was a 15-time All-Star and a 1-time MVP. Tim Duncan was one of the quietest and most humble NBA players of all time, retiring from the league as silently as he entered it. Duncan averaged 19 points and 10.8 rebounds throughout his entire career. Duncan flew so under the radar, his greatness is often underrated. At number 9, I have Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was way before his time and was so dominant that he broke tons of NBA records that will most likely stand forever. Wilt averaged an insane 30.1 points and 22.9 rebounds per game over his career, including one season where he averaged over 50 points and over 25 rebounds, and still didn't win MVP. He holds the record for most points in a single game in 100. When talking about individual dominance, you don't get much better than Wilt. Speaking of individual dominance, at number 8 we have Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq started his playing career where he had the ability to bully people inside while also running the floor with teammate Penny Hardaway. O'Neal then went straight to the Lakers and teamed up with Kobe Bryant, where they went on to win 3 straight NBA championships. After a dispute with Lakers management, Shaq would then go to the Heat, where he won his 4th and final NBA championship with Dwayne Wade. Shaq averaged 23.7 points and 10 rebounds over his career, 1 MVP, Rookie of the Year, 2 scoring titles, 14 All-Star appearances, and 3 Finals MVPs. If Shaq had stayed with the Lakers longer, he probably would be in my top 5. At number 7, I have Bill Russell. Russell is known by many as the winningest player of all time, winning 11 championships during his 13-year career. That is absolutely insane. Russell never had the stats that Wilt did, but he continuously kept Wilt from winning championships. He even won MVP the year Wilt averaged 50 points per game. Russell has forever cemented his spot in the top 10 by doing exactly what you're supposed to do in the NBA, win championships. At number 6, I have Larry Bird. I'm letting you know now that the player at number 6 is the only white player in the top 10, as I know that might come as a shocker to some of you that Brian Scalabrine doesn't find a way on this list. Larry Bird was instrumental in changing the NBA along with Magic Johnson and bringing tons of fans into the sport. He was an incredibly good passer, could shoot better than anyone else in the league at the time, played with both hands, and had one of the best work ethics in NBA history. He ultimately averaged 24.3 points, 10 rebounds, and 6.3 assists over his career. Larry Legend won 3 championships, 3 consecutive MVPs, Rookie of the Year, and even won Man of the Year. Due to the athleticism of some of the players who fall before him on this list, putting him in number 6 seems wrong, but he was an absolute killer, don't get it twisted. At number 5, I got Earvin Magic Johnson. It's honestly tough for me to put Magic at number 5, with his 5 championship rings and his insane performance in his first NBA Finals, as he switched from point guard to center, went off, and won Finals MVP. Magic Johnson changed the way the game of basketball was played. His charismatic personality and ability to make the game so exciting will forever be remembered. Johnson is here at number 5 because of his career being cut short after he was diagnosed with HIV, and because he wasn't as good a scorer as people ahead of him on this list. At number 4, I got LeBron James. I'm going to get a lot of hate for number 4. I want to preface now by saying that someone being the 4th best player to pick up a basketball is not disrespectful, but some of you will see it as that. At number 4, I have LeBron James. Before telling you why he isn't number 1 or 2, I will start by telling you why he's on my Mount Rushmore. James has won 3 championships with 2 different teams, his most recent championship bringing one to Cleveland, who desperately needed one. He consistently dominated the Eastern Conference and made it to 8 straight NBA Finals. Over his entire career, LeBron James has averaged 27.1 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 7.4 assists. Now, the reason why I have James at number 4 is because he has had teams with insane amounts of talents and not been able to finish the deal. When he took his talents to South Beach, he promised not one, not two, well, two was the right number, and the Heat's loss to the Mavericks, who were pretty much carried by Dirk, and then their loss to the Spurs in 5 games their last season together, drops LeBron from being in my top 3. All this being said, James has probably the highest IQ of anyone in league history besides Magic Johnson. He was a relentless defender in his youth. He's become more and more clutch as the years have gone on, and he is one of the best athletes in sports history. Him only having 3 championships and coming up short when he was the undisputed best player in the league on the best team puts him at number 4. But he's still playing as the Lakers are in position to possibly win a few more chips, and he could move up on my list. At number 3, I have Kobe Bean Bryant. Some people leave Kobe out of their top 10 in these lists, but I never really understood why. His insane work ethic, killer mentality, and ability to score the basketball will is what puts him at number 3 in my list. Kobe was also a tenacious on-ball defender, always picking up the other team's best player. Although many people refrain from putting him in the top 3 because he won a number of his championships with Shaq, I have him at number 3 because of the 2 championships he won with running mate Pau Gasol. Kobe finished his career with 5 championships, 1 MVP, which probably should have been 3 or 4, and averaged 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Kobe's legacy will continue to go on and off the court, but Mamba has been in my top 3 before he tragically passed away way too early. At number 2, I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This might be a little bit of a surprise for a lot of young Bulls who have never seen him play. I, of course, fall into that category, and I originally had him very underrated. After doing a ton of research, watching full game versions of Lakers-Celtics battles, it is easy to see who the GOAT used to be. Kareem has the most unstoppable move in NBA history, the skyhook, and could hit it from as close as the block and as far from the three-point line. Kareem was a 6-time NBA champion, 6-time league MVP, and a 19-time All-Star. He leads the league in points scored over a career, and LeBron might be the only one with a chance to catch him. He averaged 24.6 points, 11.2 rebounds, and 3.6 assists over his career. Sometimes it's easy to want to make the top 3 players of all time strictly guards, but the NBA was run through the big men for a long time, and Jabbar was the cream of the crop, landing him at number 2. At number 1, I got Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and if there was ever a player in sports who exemplified being the greatest, it was MJ. Players like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird acknowledged after their careers that MJ was the best player in the league, even before he won his first championship. He battled against the Celtics pretty much by himself in the first round in his second season, and casually dropped over 40 points game after game. When he finally received help from Scottie Pippen, and they ultimately defeated one of the greatest defensive teams in NBA history, it was smooth sailing from there. He dominated the league the way no one ever had, and no one has since. He caused some of the greatest players in NBA history to never win an NBA championship. He finished his career with 6 championships and 6 Finals MVPs. Enough said. In my mind, MJ embodied everything being the greatest of all time means, and nobody is taking that from him anytime soon.